Aloha, beautiful souls. Welcome to A Better World with Adrienne. I am so excited to tune in with you today. I know I say that at the beginning of every single podcast, and I am so excited to be here. Like, this continues to be my favorite space outside my client spaces to share magic, to share up levels. And today I'm really just tuning in with you about things that are helping me in my life. So I'm not really sure what the official title of this episode is going to be. Like some working titles in my brain or you know, questions that are changing my life right now or pivot points to interrupt your own bullshit. It really is, I'm not really sure what the title is going to be. The title will come to me because that just happens as I channel sometimes. However, my deep intention today is just to share key frameworks that I am using to up-level my life every single day, all day. And these are appearing in questions. And so when we think about a better world, and truly the game of growth, truly the game of and it is a game, by the way. It's a game that we all came here to learn the rules and to win. And by the way, they didn't teach us the rules of the universe. They taught us the rules of oppression and the matrix and the status quo. So we shatter all of that. We do the brave thing of letting go of all the things they told us forever. And when I say they, I mean society, most people, all the things, the structures we were raised in our human lives, all the things they told us would keep us safe and secure and loved. It's all an illusion. And so we do the brave thing of letting go, and that's how we build a better world. You can't ask for more and shrink for less at the same time. You got to release your grip. You got to unclench your grip on all of that so you can liberate yourself into your dreams. Your dream is part of a better world. So, this episode is really a better world is made when we all create a better world within each of us, an ecosystem of magic, an ecosystem of power, an ecosystem of joy, an ecosystem of relentless precision and growth and mastery. And so, my intention with this episode is really just to share what I'm using to access my highest self during my days right now. Spring 2025, it was just like a huge major shifting point for me. A lot of it had to do with, oh my gosh, the astrology, just everything. It's a huge time for everybody, and there are people that are really leveraging the moment to excel, and I invite that to be you. And then there is most of the world that will spiral into chaos. And this is very similar to all falls of civilizations, like there's people that are going to spiral down, and then there's people that are going to spiral up. And so may these pivot points, these pivot points within yourself serve you to access your highest self and your agency and your power and your truth, no matter what happens in all the quiet moments throughout your day that no one sees. So that's my deep intention with this podcast. Let us call upon the altar. The altar is how we say thank you in advance to spirit. If you are new here, I set an altar for every single podcast. On the altar is bright pink fuchsia rose. Unconditional high frequency love. Flowers are some of the most high frequency beings on this planet. There's a high frequency, high vibration of love. Okay, the color blue is on the altar. I have blue lapis crystal on the altar. I have blue chalcedony crystal on the altar. I have turquoise in my ring from Sedona. I am so deeply connecting to Sedona as I prepare for the Sedona retreat. By the way, if you want to come, application in the show notes. Dates are mid-May. You should be there. Literally stop the episode and apply now. I'm wearing an all blue outfit. I've never worn anything like this in my life, and I've gotten so much about clothing and adorning my temple and what it's all meant to mean and what to do with it and just how to I'm just I'm changing at such a rapid clip, and every one of my clients is changing at such a rapid clip, and the timelines are just accelerating, and how I dress is changing, and it's very exciting. I'm wearing all blue in honor of Hathor, and all of this blue is in honor of goddess Hathor, one of the Egyptian, you know, she sits in the temple of Isis, and it's all about the throat chakra healing. So, truth is on the altar today. I have an unscented white candle burning, purifying our space, protecting our space. And the final piece of the altar is our life force energy. I am a breathwork facilitator. Connecting through our breath and our body is vital. So, no matter what you're doing, tuning in, whether you are on a walk, whether you are driving a car, whether you are dancing, whether you are sitting, having a nice big glass of water, whether you are standing in the sun, be here now. Inhale through your nose. Exhale out the mouth. Inhale through your nose. Exhale out the mouth. Inhale through your nose. Exhale out the mouth. Feel your heart beating in your chest. If you fluttered your eyes shut, open them. The portal has been set. The space has been open. We are connected with our life force energy. The grid of transformation is here. Let's dive in. So, these are 9 questions, 9 things. And by the way, I got a huge new golden bracelet, and it makes a lot of noise. I might take some of my other bracelets off, but if you hear something, that's my bracelets clinking. So, I'm sharing 9 questions that literally change my life every single day. And these are just the ones that I've been playing with now within myself. And I've been playing with them a little bit with my clients. And it's a combination of, you know, like I said in the introduction, and maybe I didn't say this, but a better world is not about having all the answers. It's about asking better questions. It's not about having all the answers. It's about asking better questions and asking better questions again and again and again and again and again of yourself. Okay? Every single thing in your life is a reflection of your inner state. If there's something in your external, you can shift it by going within. As within, so without, right? It's old school, it's textbook, and it's something that so many people are forgetting, especially right now, because the chaos energy on Mother Earth is getting heightened, okay? We're having some serious fated astrology. If you want to learn all about the astrology with me, leverage it through breathwork, have daily lit community of ambitious earth angels working on high performance and the oracle to make their dreams for New Earth. Join Angel Air. I'm teaching on all of that. I literally shared a 30-minute audio on just 1 week of astrology today inside Angel Air. And then I was like, and to click into this astrology, do this breath work and do this breath work and do this breath work is like, it's so powerful. It's so powerful. I'm really, really excited about that space. So you should come hang out and join for a month and see if you like it. If you don't like it, just leave. I mean, it's super simple. However, don't be one of those people who never experiences it. Do it, see if it works, see if it's a match for you, and then just be like, either I'm doubling down on this because this works, or I got my data, moving on. So, These are portals for you to access your potential on the daily. Daily portals to access your potential through the magic of questions. All right. Something that makes me a really, really, really powerful mentor and healer and shaman is I don't tell my clients what to do. I ask really amazing questions and I guide you to accessing the truth that's always been alive within you. Do I give frameworks? Do I give tools? Do I give guidance to help you um harness that truth and that dream and that creation with precision? Yes. However, I'm not your guru. You're your own guru. Probably my most annoying trait as a mentor is I will never ever ever pretend you're not powerful beyond measure. And that means I don't allow you to outsource your power in my spaces or in my energy. I tend to like repel that. So these are 9 questions I'm really just using in my life right now to access my potential even more deeply every single day. And may they serve you. All right. So here's the first one. How can I have more fun? And this seems so simple. And you might be like, Adrian, you're literally the most happy, joyful, like puppy like child wonder person I know. Yes, and I can always be growing. I can always be growing in every single area of my life. And something that has created so much success for me, especially in the recent past, is like, how can I have more fun? If I'm not having fun, what's the point? And it's not about not doing hard things. I actually have the most fun of my life doing really hard stuff. But it's like, how can I have more fun and more levity and more joy and just like, oh, be in the game of it and not like bogged down, like, what is the next detail I should do? And I do this all within, I have life systems, I have my holy habits, I have my health on lock. This morning, I did my first cold plunge. I went to a lake that is nearby where I live right now, and the temperature of the water was 40 degrees Fahrenheit. And I cold plunged, and it was so epic. And that's what I mean by having so much joy and fun doing hard stuff. I was laughing, I was cackling laughing. It was like 6:30 a.m. There's only like these old like fishermen on their fishing boats and then I come rolling in and I'm like, "Yeah, I got my like breathwork playlist blasting in my car and I'm like, I'm gonna cold plunge. It's gonna be so fun. And I just run and it literally is so cold. Like so cold. And then like a minute in, because I did 3 minutes, I'm working up to 5 minutes. By the way, I'm not new to cold exposure. When I was living in Chicago, I used to do cryotherapy 5 days a week. Like I was a high ticket client of theirs and I loved every second of it. um I was just laughing. I was like, how can I make this more fun? How can I make this more fun? And I put on a song and I was just like, can you have more fun in your life? Like one of the things that makes this work so powerful is that I'm not out here telling you to grind all day every day. Do you get to work hard for your dreams? Yes. Are there things required of you for your dreams that are wildly uncomfortable? Yes. Am I going to hold you to a higher standard than probably anybody's ever held you to in your entire life? Yes. That's my job. I am the unicorn that combines the oracle with high performance. I realized that about myself like a month ago. I was like, what makes my clients blow up so much that no one else is doing? Oh, it's this unique combination, and I do it through the nervous system too, with the ancient codes and my shamanism. So, if we're not having fun, it's not, that's the whole point. Literally the whole point. And if you think about it from like a manifestation perspective, if you are not having fun, you're not creating. Like the inner child is creative. The inner child is joyful. Joy is magnetic. Like if you're having fun, Your energy, well, first of all, you're going to repel the people that are not right for you because some people, they get activated or people say triggered by joy. And they call it toxic positivity. And I'm like, is it toxic positivity or is it agency that I can create happiness no matter what because I just decide to? I think it's the second one because toxic positivity to me is when you are using that to numb your feelings. It's like high vibe when you're actually like deeply distraught inside and you just refuse to feel your own feelings. That to me is the toxic area. So, portal number one, how can I have more fun? Whatever you're moving through in your life right now, how can you have more fun? How can you make it a game? How can you make it more joyful? Okay. When I was sitting down to this podcast, I was like, how can I have more fun? Oh, I want more bubble water to drink. And so I went and got more bubble water. I just took a drink of it. It's so simple. It's so simple. And the things that change your life the most are the most simple. Okay, number two, am I taking or giving? And these portals, these pivot points, I think I'm going to call it pivot points to your potential. That sounds amazing. Um, am I taking or giving? Am I taking or giving? And these questions are designed for any time in your days when you're like at a crossroads or you're feeling bad or you're feeling like you're not creating the result you want or you just want to up level or you're like focusing on getting something like a task or a creation or a new result. Am I taking or giving? And I got this from my Kabbalah teacher, David, which I'm going to go to another one of his events. I'm so excited and I'm so grateful. And this Kabbalah is literally changing the whole game for me. Like nothing will ever be the same. And I'm so excited about that. So if there is something in your life that is really expansive to you and exciting for you and is changing your life, double down on it, run toward it relentlessly. Relentlessly. Trust your obsessions, follow them, double down when it's working. Okay. A lot of people, they like wait till things get bad to like double down or make a change. Here's how you can play offense in your life and be ahead of most people forever. Double down on what's working while it's working. Double down while it's working. You're like, wow, this works. I'm going to double down on that. Right? It's massive. Okay, am I giving or taking? This is, he said something really, really powerful the other day, and it was like, whoa, it was like mic drop moment. He was like, people only take things personally when they're trying to take something. And I was like, oh my goodness, it's so true. Every single moment of every day, we are either giving energy or taking energy. Okay, taking energy is this extractive life force that's like, it's like, I don't have it within me, so I've got to go out and take it from other people. It's lack, it's neediness, it's scarcity. Okay, abundance is giving. I'm here to give. I'm whole and complete. I don't need anything. I'm here to give, right? I have everything I need. And so it really is. If there's something in your life that you feel like isn't working, I want you to get really, really clear on like, are you giving energy or taking energy? Do you need something from that other person? Do you need their approval? Do you need their validation? Do you need their love? Do you need their money? What do you feel like you quote unquote need from them? And how are you using it to distract yourself from your own healing? Is the like sub question there. If you're giving, then you really are, that's the name of the game. That's abundance. And in that, you're shifting from instant gratification to long-term blessings. So the question is, am I taking or giving right now? That's the that's the pivot point to your potential. You want to be giving. You want to be giving. And something that I recently learned that is really important for all those overgivers out there. Um I don't feel I overgive in business. I love my boundaries. When you become my client, I pour, like, think about how much you get out of this podcast. Just imagine being my client. Like, for real. Like, when people become my client, like, especially a high touch client, we're like doing life together. It's like I pour and pour and pour because it's not that like I feel like I need to, but just my tap is just open and there's so much magic and it's like, wow, this is amazing. So for me right now, something that I'm focusing on is in my personal life that sometimes the most giving thing is to receive because then you allow the other person to be a giver. So it's very nuanced, but really, if you are ever taking, you're losing. You're losing and you're spreading darkness and chaos. So always, any kind of moment you feel bad or you feel sticky, be like, where am I taking? Am I taking or giving? Okay. Question number 3. This was from Essentialism, Greg McKeown. If you have not read that book, highly recommend it. I highly recommend his book Effortless as well. When I read those books, I felt deeply seen because a lot of what he was sharing, he was giving voice to ways I had been living forever as a classical musician. And just things that I had naturally quilted together because I'm obsessed with personal development and healing and potential and just going full throttle in life. And, I guess my life, my core value of life is the whole point of life is to be the best you can be and make a positive impact on the world. That's literally the whole point. If it's not checking those two boxes, I don't want any part in it. And that's a very clarifying lens to live life through. It automatically deletes a lot of bullshit and drama and things that are just unnecessary. So if you haven't read Essentialism, I highly, highly recommend that, Greg McKeown. It's a very simple question. What's essential now? What is essential now? And I think we all got a big life lesson. I mean, whatever your experience was during the pandemic, which I now openly say that. Yes, pandemic. It was definitely it was very real. I got COVID multiple times. I call her Coco. Coco got me a couple different times. And Coco's real. She kicked my ass. And, there's just a lot to unpack with that one. No matter what your experience was, we all got a lesson about what's essential. Like, what is essential? Oh, food, water, shelter, like all of these things. So when you break it down to a goal, like if you're in the middle of your day, and this whole podcast is talking about the inner game. There are quiet moments all day, every day within yourself that no one sees. And this is why you either trust yourself or you don't. This is why you love yourself or you don't. This is why you respect yourself or you don't, because of how you traverse these moments. And so these portals, these pivot points to your potential are the quiet moments that no one sees. We're working very deeply with this in my Holy Habits hive mind through the lens of health. People shifting their food choice habits. It's like, how many times a day do you eat something you know is not good for your body just to please others? Just to, I mean, If we go back to the previous question, am I taking or giving? You're taking energy. You're trying to get energy from the food, right? It's like taker, 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 instant gratification. I don't want to feel. I just want this quick hit. It's a very vulnerable and intimate moment. So what's essential now? What is essential? A lot of people focus on busy work and not their life's work. When I look at someone's calendar and it's full of meetings, I know they're wasting their life force. I know they're allowing the status quo to destroy their life. Nobody needs to be in meetings all day. That is just a bunch of people pretending to be productive to make themselves feel better to avoid doing actual work. For real. No one needs like most meetings could be solved in a two-sentence email. And I'm probably the most personal person. Like I'm not a transactional person. However, when I'm talking about business, it's like we don't need to sit around the campfire and sing when we can just relay information in an email that takes 2 minutes, and then I can do an hour of deep work on my life's work, right? So like today, for example, I had a whole list. I crushed my list, by the way. You want to know why? Because I did that cold plunge and I just stack, 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 good on top of good on top of good. I was asking myself, what's essential now? What is essential now? And there really were only a few key things that were essential literally right now, like must do today, like needle movers for the dream, not busy work, not a bunch of things you've done that make you feel like you're progressing. No, actual things that matter. So, what's essential now? And asking that question, you can immediately delete like 10 things off your plate. So, number four, here's the question. If I had 3 months to live, would this be a worthwhile use of my time? People lose sight of this, man. Life, like our time on this planet is the most precious resource, and it's the only one we don't know how much we have. We literally don't know when we're going to die in this lifetime. And it's so interesting because it's like people obsess over money, people obsess over like all these kinds of different things. And it's like the greatest currency is time. And it's the one that we never know how much we have, right? You can't just like go get more, right? Now we talk about bending time and the mystical realm and all that, and that's very true. But like, if you had 3 months to live, would this be a worthwhile use of your time? What you're doing right now. So, how much do you scroll? Are you scrolling your life away? Every single person that tells me they don't have time to build a dream, I say, cool, the average person scrolls for 2+ hours per day. This adds up to literally 3 months of work weeks per year. You have time to build a dream. You don't have the guts to unplug. You don't have the discipline to stop scrolling. Keyword yet. Yet. Keyword yet until you got in my world, did breath work, and we're finally able to stop doing the habits that hurt you. So huge. If you had 3 months to live, would you be scrolling? I sure hope not. Would you be hanging out with that person that you dread? I sure hope not. Would you be doing that project that drains your soul? I sure hope not. Okay? I just realized I wrote what's essential now twice on my list. Apparently, we needed to double click on that one. Okay. Next, what has the greatest return on my attention? So, something you hear me talk about a lot is return on investment, the ROI. And ROI, you have investment of time, you have investment of energy, resource, right? I I used the term ROI with someone and they didn't know what it meant. And I was like, I was excited to share and teach, and at the same time I was deeply alarmed because I'm like, how can you not know what ROI is? Like just from a life perspective, the return on investment for things, it's like I put this much in and I get this much back. When I think about it, with money, it's like I put $100 in, and if I get, a 10x return on my investment, then I make $1,000, right? That's an amazing, I'm really focusing on 10x for every part of my life right now. It's wildly exciting, and it's wildly like expanding and like exposing every single thing I must change. Um, what has the greatest return on your attention? On your attention. Your attention, we are now in the attention economy. Whatever you give your attention to, are you getting a return on that? So, for example, if you're giving 2 hours of your attention every single day to scrolling, what's the return on that? Negative, because you're being controlled. Your nervous system's being hijacked, so you choose fear without you realizing it. Like, it's horrendous. So you've got to get really, really clear on what things have I given my attention to that have reaped the most benefit, reaped the most reward in my goals. What has the greatest return on your attention? So I did an audit on this, and I realized there were three key things that I've been doing the past few months that have had the greatest return on my attention. Honestly, the podcast is one of my like return on attention. First of all, I'm obsessed with it. I love it. And second of all, like people who listen to my podcast, like I find the most amazing ideal clients through my podcast because it's people like you that are listening that you're not just you want to listen to have a breakthrough. Like there's a certain kind of person that's going to listen to like a 30-minute to an hour long podcast to change their life. And then you get to know me as well. And so it's like when it comes to wanting to sign up for one of my programs or one-on-one mentorship or come to the Sedona retreat, you're like, yeah, I want to go to Sedona with Adrienne. I know her. Like I've been listening to her podcast for 3 years. Like I know her, I trust her, like all of this stuff. Um, Especially for high ticket investments, like people, I mean, I have had clients come out of the woodwork and pay for my highest priced offer and be an aligned client. However, like the biggest thing, it's like, what's the greatest return on your attention, and only do those things, delete all the other stuff, right? Okay, the next pivot portal, or what was it? Pivot. I'm gotta listen back. Have I thrown the magical kitchen sink? Okay, this is my question. This is my magical question. So there's something called suffocating the system that my teacher, my Kabbalah teacher teaches. It's in a specific way. However, for me, it's like, have is there every stone unturned? Are there any stones unturned? And so I've got to know when I'm working towards a goal, like, have I done everything I can in my power in the physical realm? Have I done everything I can and I know how to do in the spiritual realm? And then after that, it's like, okay, creator, I literally don't know what else to do. I've made my maximum effort. I threw the magical kitchen sink. And so if you've ever heard that phrase, like anything but the kitchen sink, it's like I'm like throwing everything at it with precision, right? With my strategies, with my magic, with my healing, with all of this. Like every time I do a workout, I know that is directly correlated to how I achieve my goals. All the like every time I go on a date, I know it's influencing my health. Every time I do something in my business, I know it's influencing my relationships. Like it's all connected. So it's like, have I thrown the magical kitchen sink? That's very clarifying because you're immediately going to know, like, oh, there's this one thing, this one idea I haven't followed. I haven't hit it from this lens. I haven't done this. I haven't done that. Oh, I think actually my most important thing right now is to just pray. And if you're like, okay, I have thrown the magical kitchen sink, I've thrown the magical kitchen sink at it, right? Then you can say, okay, creator, you take it from here. I've done everything I can do. Now you take it. You don't need to finish the job. You've just got to do your full effort and then let creator blow your mind with what's possible. Okay? The next question. This is from Gary Keller. Um he wrote a book called The One Thing, and it's the 80/20 rule, like on crack. Okay? If you've ever heard and this is kind of, what has the greatest return on my attention? This is kind of an offshoot of that, but way, way, way deeper and more specific. And here's the question. It's what's the one thing I can do such that by doing it, everything else is easier or unnecessary? So this is really like these pivot points to your potential. It's like you come to a cross section and you're like, I could go here or here. I'm not quite you're on the road of creation, right? In stewarding a goal, in stewarding a dream, in bringing it to form, right? And so all of these questions, it's like if you ask better questions, you get better answers, you get better results. It's not about having all the answers, it's about asking questions and propelling yourself forward in the most efficient, magical, powerful way possible for your desired result. Okay? Sometimes your desired result is not what's best for you, by the way. I learned that so deeply in my experience on Maui because I haven't fully shared the whole story of everything. I will when it's time. Um, I was so deeply committed to putting down roots on that island, and I just wasn't meant to, at least not at that time in that way. And I was so stubborn and I was so committed to that. And Spirit went through very extreme measures to kick me out of there. Um, it basically got to a point where I I don't love saying the word had to. It became basically my only option was to leave. Um, and I knew the whole time that creator had my back. However, it was really hard. So, if you want to hear a little bit more about that, go to the episode How to Create New Results with Zero Evidence. And I shared a private coaching audio from my paid client space, Starstruck, which turned into Angel Air. So, coming back to this question is what's the one thing I can do such that by doing it, everything else is easier or unnecessary? So I asked myself that question on Maui and I said, what's the one thing I can do such that by doing it, everything else is easier or unnecessary? And I was like, I am going to move off Maui for now. That immediately deletes everything else, all of these other challenges, things going on, and it makes everything easier or unnecessary. So it's like, the 80/20 rule is the idea that 80% of your results come from only 20% of your actions. So the idea is you want to identify what those actions are that create 80% of your results and only do those and cut out every other extra thing, right? I was having a conversation with a client like a week ago and they were really struggling financially and they had been chronically struggling financially for a while. And I was like, you've got to focus only on cash flow, only revenue producing activities to shift this permanently. And they were like, oh, interesting. I've been wanting to make more money. However, I have never focused only on cash flow, and my mind just like melted because I was like, how do you expect to get a result if you're not focusing like relentlessly on that? Like it was mind-boggling to me. So for her, what's the one thing I can do such that by doing it, everything else is easier or necessary? Master cash flow. That's the one thing for that person to focus on because then everything else immediately becomes easier or unnecessary. Like all of the challenge or whatever chaos, it's not even necessary. She doesn't even need to do it. So, in your current point, pivot point, in your goal, what's the one thing you can do such that by doing it, everything else is easier or unnecessary? And focus on that. Focus on that. And I've taken that to relationships a little bit. Not a little bit, a lot bit, because, I'm just not available to talk about politics. It's extremely dark. It's evil speech. It's not helpful. It's not productive. Okay. Especially in the way that most people talk about it. It's not about pretending things aren't happening. It is about being very, very discerning about the way you speak and use your voice and what kind of energy you're circulating in our world. And so for me, I have identified one big thing that I can connect with certain family members on that always leads to happiness and joy and true connection. So, like, let's say the topic is, I don't know, let's say that I'm just using an example because I don't want to share, you know, I never share things that are not mine to share personal things like about people in my life because I'm a public person. That doesn't mean they are. Okay. Let's say the topic is basketball. It's like, okay, that's the one thing we can do such that by doing it, everything else is easier or unnecessary. It's fun, it's easy, it's playful. We don't have the challenge or the friction of like what happens when the conversation gets toxic, right? That's the one thing. So, how can you apply this to your life? How can you apply this to your goal? How can you apply this to your relationship? How can you apply this to your dream? Okay, and then finally, this last question is one that um is from me, and I've really been focusing on it because with every ascension, it's like the amount of ascension and heights you're going for and your ambition has got to be matched with a level of depth and rooting. It's like when you go down deep, deep, deep into the bedrock of Mother Earth, then you are rooted so you can go high, 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 right? And so the question I ask is, does my depth match my ascension? Because something I focus on a lot is like ascending. I'm ascending. I'm ascending. I'm ascending. I'm quantum leaping. I'm doing this thing. I'm going bigger, wider, fuller. And then I'm like, you've got to go deeper at the same time if you want to go higher. It's got to be the same. They've got to be equal. They've got to be working together, right? Now, sometimes they're not going together at the exact same time, right? So, the past, I would say 6 months to a year, I have gone extremely, extremely deep, like sacrificed myself on the altar of like death and rebirth vibes. And I felt like I was getting swallowed up into like truly the depths of, I didn't even know what was going on. Some of the time, the healing was so visceral and deep and confronting. And then now I'm really like, I'm reaping that, like I've been shooting up, shooting up, shooting up. But that's because my depth, I went so deep that I could ascend now. And so, something that I ask myself, I'm like, okay, if I want to go high and I want to go loud and I want to go and loud just means bold, bombastic, free. And I want to go 10x. I don't do linear time anymore. I just don't. I'm not available for it. I've seen too much magic. If I know that quantum time is available every single moment of every single day, I'm choosing that. Okay, so if I'm going to be quantum leaping on repeat, 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 I've got to be going deep on repeat, repeat, repeat. It's like, okay, what do I need to be doing in my breath work? What do I get to be doing in my daily healing? What kind of depths in my subconscious like do I get to explore? It's like keeping that wide wattage and not becoming rickety in one side or the other. So in this pivot to your potential, pivot point to your potential, where are you not reaching high enough? And where have you not gone deep enough? They've got to match, they've got to correlate to one another. So that is this podcast. It was actually 8 pivot points to your potential because I wrote down what's essential now twice. What's essential now is this question, apparently. I would love to hear from you. Which ones stuck out to you? Which ones are like, wow, this one I'm going to use immediately. I can't wait to share. The whole point of this podcast is I want you to take it and leverage it and use it and run with it and implement it. Literally, if you actually implemented only like 20% of the free information that you receive, your whole life would change. And that's honestly, that's how I can tell if someone's successful. I can tell immediately someone's future success by if they are devouring free content and implementing it or not. Because that was me. I would just devour podcasts and I would just immediately implement it again and again and again and again and again, like 10 years ago. And I'm like, yeah. And then I remember I remember I invested like $95 in my first master class. And it was like, I had to let, I was so activated because that was, at the time, I was making less than $30 an hour in my field when I had a master's degree from one of the top music conservatories in the world. It was a different time. And I remember being like, oh, this is like so much money. Wow. And I just, I had done so much growth and personal development on myself that I moved myself through that. And, the history, the rest is history, as they say. If you use these questions, your life will change in a positive way. And it might not feel positive right away. You might feel very confronted. You might be alarmed. You might be disturbed by the answers you receive. They might be confusing, okay? The ways that you can go deeper into this work with me, because this isn't a lot of high performance today. I coach daily on high performance and angel air. You've got to have somewhere to plug into daily to access your power. Okay. If you want that in angel air and you want it with astrology and you want it with breath work and you want it with a community of mystics around the world who are ambitious and building dreams together, join Angel Air literally right now. The link is in the show notes. If you want to live the answer to these questions in real time, if you want to go deep into 4 days of quantum healing and ascension, in Sedona. I'm booking the final spaces for the Sedona retreat. I'm so, 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 so grateful and excited for this experience. Like, it is once in a lifetime. Once in a lifetime. And it's once in a lifetime astrology, too. The Uranus Cazimi, shocking change, permanent change. This is an identity shift. This is an identity shift at a cellular level. If you're feeling called to the land, if you love these questions and you want to live them out in union with ceremony, with nervous system reset, with healing, with expansive community, with only the transformation that can happen in person on sacred land, apply through the link in the show notes. I'm filling this final spot. I have no idea how long spots will be available. So literally, if you are coming to Sedona and you want to join us, apply right now. I will be in touch as soon as possible and we'll get you booked if you are an aligned fit. All right, my beautiful souls. That's the episode. That's how you can work with me. I hope you have a beautiful day. Go be the change, be the light, be the reason a stranger smiles because it charges the whole field. I believe in you. I believe in a better world. Be relentless in your growth. And remember that everything's an illusion. You can choose. You can choose no matter what's going on in the world. You can choose and use these pivot points to your potential all day and just watch everything change. I love you so much, and I will see you next time on A Better World with Adrienne.